the song Berry Lady, I have some claps during this instrumental as well as the second chorus. And I like the claps, but they're not quite poking through nearly as much as I'd like. I'd like a bit more of them. Let's go ahead and hear it in context. They sound fine, but I want a little bit more out of them. Let's take a look at the instrumental section. You can see I did mono recordings for each clap and I stacked them on top of each other to create a fuller, thicker sound. If we were to go to the mix window, you'll notice that I also spread them out or pan them left and right to give it a little bit more of a wider feel. And then I selected the output to go to this subgroup where I did some bus processing to it. I like them, but I want a little bit more. And while I could go back and re-record some additional claps to go on top of this, there is another way to do this. Before I do anything, I want to make sure that my grid is set to 1 bar. That's going to make it a lot easier to navigate. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on all the tracks that I already have, and then I'm going to click duplicate. This will create duplicate tracks of these 5, but I don't want the active playlist. That's what's out there in front, and I don't want the alternate playlist if I did any alternate playlists behind the scenes. But everything else I do want, and you can see that the output has been set correctly. It's going already to my subgroup. That way I don't have to do any further editing or routing. Then what I'm going to do is find a nice halfway point. I kind of already did right here where I have this section and this section. I'm not able to cut this perfectly in half, and that's okay. What I'll do now is I'll highlight each of those, and using my grabber tool, I'm going to Option+Drag, and as I do that, it's making a copy of this as I put it over here. If I didn't hold Option, what would it do? It would do that. So Option+Drag to make the copy, and I lined the claps up so that now this performance right here is playing underneath this performance right here, essentially doubling up the amount of tracks I already have. Then I'll take this section right here. Here's another way to do it. Command C to copy, highlight the area, Command V to paste. So again, what this is doing is I've taken this section and put it right here, and then taken this section and put it right here. So now I don't have duplicates. I didn't double up previous recordings. It's as if I did additional recordings. I just kind of flipped them. Now it's going to be a lot bigger. Let's hear it in context. It's poking out through the mix a little bit more. I'm getting a little bit more power out of it. I'll probably have to mess around with my bus processing. I think I'm hitting it too hard on the compressor at the moment, but I can just mess with it a little bit to get it to sound nice and pretty. This is a great way to get more claps without going back and recording some. This works really well for background vocals as well, as long as the sections match up. There's a section right here where we didn't add any claps, but we can easily do that just by highlighting some of these, pasting them in, moving them there. Now I have, instead of 5 tracks, I have 10.